First, I want to say it's great to be here. It's been 10 years for me applying to the Loft Mentor Series, but I tell you, it's been 10 long years for my partner. So I thank my partner, Jody, my son, Antonio, my fab-tab Christelle daughter, special aunts and uncles, nieces and nephews, friends, my writers group that I've been in for 10 years, and my hairdresser. A special thanks to Mark Anthony Rollo, who has worked with me tirelessly, and also to Jerald Walker for choosing me as a mentee. A big thanks to Hamlin MFA program because they taught me how to write. But also for the Loft Literary Center because without them and everything that came before me, I would not be here. So thank you all for coming out. What I'm going to read tonight is an excerpt from my part 4. The 2 5-year-olds and I are eating a late breakfast in the dining room that sits off the kitchen. Light sifts through the window curtain, landing on Christelle. She's wearing a Bob the Builder shirt, bright yellow lettering on blue background, with a man wearing a hard hat and overalls, a pair of Antonio's jeans, and black socks. Antonio dressed her that morning. Listening in on their conversation, I overheard them discussing what underwear she should wear. How about Spider-Man, Thomas the Train, or Bob the Builder? No Spider-Man, Antonio. Too scary. Antonio is wearing Bob the Builder and eating egg beaters that I made especially for him. They are exactly the right color of brown and taste exactly like the egg beaters he had yesterday. He takes another bite, and I beam a smile. Christelle breaks my reverie. Her spoon is halfway to her mouth. Whose belly did I come out of? She asked. Yours or Mama Joey's? Milk spills from her spoon into her cereal bowl. I raise my eyebrows. Her question isn't totally unexpected. My niece Tina has been joining us for weekly play dates. Antonio and Christelle watched as her belly got bigger and bigger and bigger. One afternoon, Tina placed their palms on the spot where her baby was kicking. She gave birth yesterday to a boy. She invited us to meet Andy. I glance over at Antonio. He sits on the edge of his chair. He doesn't know if he should stay or go. Remains of bitten apple slices are on his plate, but his eggs are eaten. I turn back to Christelle and look into her dark brown eyes. You came out of your birth mom's belly. No, she says, clearly irritated. Did I come from your belly or Mama Joey's? You came from your birth mom's belly. I raise one finger. This is Mama Jody. This is Mama Beth. Then I raise a third. This is your birth mom. I touch each tip of the raised finger. Mama Beth, Mama Jody, birth mom. I tap birth mom twice. You came out of her belly. I turn my gaze towards the living room and out the bay window to the east. In the morning light, I see children's handprints on the glass. Christelle dips into her bowl for another spoonful of Honey Nut Cheerios. Before she brings her spoon up, she pauses and looks at me. She smiles and licks her lips. Did Antonio and I come out of the same belly? I take a deep breath, marveling at her determination to know truth. When I was 19, I told the psychologist it wasn't that bad. It took years, but there came a point when I just had to know. Really, how bad was the damage I suffered from sexual abuse? By then, I couldn't believe that I had learned to live with the abuse as if it were just a normal part of each day. I raise a fourth finger. Antonio came from his birth mom's belly. He was born in Guatemala too. I think if this keeps up, I'm going to run out of fingers. Mama Beth, Mama Jody, your birth mom, Antonio's birth mom. The sun rays are breaking through the branches of the crabapple tree in the front yard, landing on our wall in the dining room. Christelle flops in her seat. No, you make me so mad. She lets her spoon drop on the table. Her eyes narrow. I'm frustrated. She gives up her cereal and picks up a slice of apple. She nibbles an end, then uses her teeth to scrape the peeling off, then squints ahead at nothing. Did Antonio come from Mama Joey's belly? I look at Antonio. He's on the tip of his chair. His tendons stand out on his neck. The light coming in the bay window merges with the light coming in the window directly behind Christelle. No, I say. He came from his birth mom's belly in Guatemala. Antonio's eyes bulge. He runs into his bedroom and shuts the door. I let my breath out slowly and reach for his breakfast plate, stacking it on mine. You're my girl, honey. I kiss her head and give her a hug. Finish eating, sweetie. I'm going to go check on Antonio. Jody will be sad to not have had this moment with the children. Most of their questions and comments come during the day while she's at work. Antonio's head is burrowed head first into the cushion of his blue glider. I lift him up and sit him on my lap. He's a lump, and thankfully doesn't offer any resistance. I'm happy you're my boy, Antonio. Mama Jody, Mama Beth, Christelle, and you are family. No, he says, I'm from Guatemala. Suddenly he begins heaving great sobs. All of your moms love you. Your birth mom too. I miss her, he wails. Then he softens, rests his body on mine. I brush my lips over his bristly hair and squeeze him. I know you do, honey. Often, as an infant, Antonio would wake first from his nap. I would take him out to our swimming pool in the backyard. I'd hold on to his hand as he dived underwater. Over and over, he leapt and rolled in the wetness, his face chasing bubbles, trusting that I would never let him go. Coming to the surface, he'd grin through a pane of water, then dive again. When I first met you, Antonio, you had the widest smile I had ever seen. Oh, you didn't know me when I was a baby, he bawls. That's true. Not when you were a little baby. Not like baby Andy. But I have pictures of you right after you came out of your birth mom's belly. You were so new that your skin was still flaky on your forehead. When I saw your picture, I felt as if I had known you all my life and that we had always been together. I squeeze him tighter. You're my favorite boy in the whole world. Do you know who else loves you? Who? Your Mama Jody loves you too. This starts him wailing again. I miss Mama Joey. There is no consoling him. He cries and he cries. I wrap my arms around him, put my feet on the gliding ottoman, and we rock back and forth. This is what grief looks like, I think. His heartbreak touches mine. I think of when I felt pain so gut-wrenching, I wanted to grab my side to keep my innards from bursting. I was 30, flying across the ocean. Tears ran out of my eyes, and when I couldn't stand the leaking, silent tears anymore, I went into the bathroom and sobbed. I pushed in my eyes with paper towels. Crying unstoppable tears was new to me and just as foreign as the Polynesian people that I'd be spending the next 2 years with in the Kingdom of Tonga as a Peace Corps volunteer. I was frightened. I thought something was wrong with me, desperately wrong. I realized the Peace Corps was ripping me from my mother's womb. Even though it was my emancipation from abuse and dysfunction, I was still heartbroken. I had never felt this much pain. The tears started at my feet and burst upwards into sobs. I couldn't contain them. They spurted out of my eyes with a deep wail that I forced into silence. I stopped rocking. Antonio's head lies on my chest, the tears soaking my shirt. What I felt at 30, he's feeling at 5. Antonio continues to sob. His weeping tires him out, and I lay him down for a nap with his music playing. Ever since coming home 4 years ago, Antonio has napped and slept to the CD, Songs for the Inner Child by Shania Noel. I quietly shut his door, listening.
How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul.
Christelle is in her room waiting for me on her tan glider. She wants to fill up her humidifier with water. No, Christelle, it already has water in it. She jumps off the rocker screaming, I want to do it now. We both know it isn't about that. She wanted to come out of my belly or Mama Jody's, or at the very least, the same belly as Antonio. Christelle tosses a doll out of her bed, then cries for me to pick it up. I do. After handing it to her, she throws it on the floor again. This time, I ignore the doll. Christelle, would you like me to tell you a story? She turns away and faces the wall. It's a story about Mama Beth. Maybe. She snuffles into her Dora pillow. Mama Beth had a baby boy, and I gave him up for adoption because I couldn't take care of him. She turns her head slightly towards me. It wasn't because I didn't love him, honey. It was because I couldn't take care of him. Someone else is taking care of him just like I'm taking care of you. Antonio, no? No. We can tell him together after his nap. Later, we'll go to the library and check out adoption books and books about Guatemala. I also have something else you can look at. I leave her room and come back with the photograph from the mantel above the fireplace. She cradles the photo in her lap. I'm holding her, and Jody is holding Antonio. She touches her face, then she touches Antonio's. She points to a woman in the picture. Who is that? That was the day when your mama said they would love you forever, in front of a judge. That's her. She's the woman who let us adopt you. Thanks, Mama Beth. She hugs the photograph against her belly. Then she moves over and kisses me 9 times. On the nose, chin, throat, right ear, right cheek, left cheek, forehead, top of head. And then a hug on each side. This is her ritual. She's very consistent. When I'm with others and she's giving me her customary, I let it be what it is, even though it might be excessive. I used to be embarrassed, but then I recalled the words of a therapist. Don't ever feel bad about loving or being loved. Oh, so many kisses, I say. Oh, I'm so lucky. Mom, do you have a mom? She's dead. Christelle laughs, topples over in her bed. I shrug my shoulders. I'm glad she's dead. I didn't like growing up so much. I straighten her covers, kiss her on the cheek. You and Antonio will have a better life than me. Time to rest, sweetie. I walk downstairs to our finished basement and fish out the lockbox that is stored under the decks. The house could burn down, but we'd find this strong box and the adoption papers inside. I leaf through the papers for the chain of custody document that shows a photo of Antonio and Christelle being held by their birth mothers. This is a requirement by the Guatemalan courts before the babies can be released for final adoption. Someday, they'll ask me if I know what their mother looks like. I focus on the mothers' faces. How did they do it, I wonder? I search the lines around their eyes. How could they hold their 3-month-old baby after not seeing them since birth and not fall to pieces? Then I see it. That strong, determined resolve. They're going to do right by their babies, no matter the emotional hardship. The birth mothers resemble each other. Both have strong Mayan features, yet they easily could be Midwestern housewives who work hard and long in the fields, picking stones and milking cows. I imagine the mothers leaving the fields, bathing from a pail of cold water, dressing in their best clothes, and taking the bus into Guatemala City, then enter the government office and sit before a photographer with their infant that they haven't seen since birth. I rub my thumb on the edge of the laminated documents. I laminated the official papers, knowing that I would be touching the black and white photos, studying the women, and if at all possible, unearthing their sour so I could find mine. Abandoning my baby is a grief of such depth that I rarely experience it. Christelle looks alert and comfortable in her mother's arms. Antonio is squirming, kicking to get away from his birth mother's grasp. As I look at the stone-faced mothers, tears well up in my eyes. Yes, we need to go to Guatemala, all of us.